Looking back, you've spent 17 years at the World Bank. You've now been in this role for 4 years. The international community, the developing world, is really changing a lot. You've got so many middle-income countries that have a lot of poverty still, but that seem to have their own resources, the Indias and Brazils of the world. And the rest of the world, many other countries seem to be even more fragile than before, seem to be even closer to conflict or in conflict. Where do you see all of this going as you look back on your time and your various roles? Where do you think the development community is heading and the humanitarian community is heading?
Well, let me first say that I consider myself blessed having this incredible opportunity to work on what, for the people who need help in desperate moments of their lives, is the most important thing the European Union does. Mm-hmm. What I see ahead of us is more fragility because of the impact of climate change, bringing the number and intensity of disasters up, because of extremism and more complex conflicts with non-traditional actors, not the old armies fighting each other according to certain rules, more violation of international humanitarian law, more danger for humanitarians because of fastest population growth in the places on this planet that can least afford it, in the Sahel, in the Horn of Africa, and because of weak governance, the fact that there are countries that can barely cope with their own problems, and in some cases the governments are the enemy of some of the people. In this context, what we are seeing is increase of the number of people in need. Every year we break a record. Mm-hmm. Whether it is the record of displacement or the overall number of people in need or the number of emergencies, like in the beginning of this year we had 4 level 3 highest level emergencies at the same time: Syria, South Sudan, Central African Republic and the Philippines. This breaking of records means that the humanitarian community has to strive constantly for agility, anticipating crisis, working on reducing the risks on people, what we call resilience.
Sure.
Yep. And also building bridges with the development community. And that is where I see my biggest advantage and privilege in this job. Because I came from the development world into the humanitarian community, it has been easier for me to see the opportunities there for transition in which development money through humanitarian organizations lead to restoration of basic services in the north of Mali or in Côte d'Ivoire, or through this strong focus on resilience. And I think that what we would see in the future is more coherence in this working together, and fewer organizations feeling that they have to stay in their own camp.
Right.
Yeah?
It's a more integrated industry.
More integrated efforts everywhere. At the same time, I do believe that we need to protect neutrality, impartiality, independence for humanitarian workers, especially in zones of conflict. And I do believe that the development community must strive for sustainability of effort, and that is a mandate they need to carry. I see some positive things happening already. For example, the World Bank is now funding some projects through the implementation of humanitarian organizations, UNHCR, the World Food Programme. Why? Because in fragile conditions, the traditional development platforms simply don't exist, they don't work. And I also see the humanitarian community recognizing that we are advocates and voices for people in distress. But we need partners, we need the development actors, we also need the political side to do their job,
right,
so we can help more people more effectively.